The Siberian wilderness is unyielding, an endless expanse of snow and ice that stretches for miles in every direction. The world here is silent, save for the howling winds that cut through the frozen landscape. The temperature hovers at minus 50 degrees Celsius, and the air is so cold that even the act of breathing feels like a battle. In this world, survival is not just a fight. It is the only way of life. In a small village nestled deep within this harsh terrain, the villagers wake before dawn, wrapped in layers of thick furs and scarves. They step outside into the unforgiving cold. The first breath is always the hardest, a sharp sting as the air freezes on contact with their lungs. Their footsteps crunch loudly in the silence, each one deliberate, as if the very ground beneath them might swallow them whole. The hunt for the day begins with a single task: checking the traps. Without the traps, there is no food. Without food, there is no survival. A lone hunter begins his journey toward the forest. His figure is small against the vastness of the white tundra, but his resolve is as solid as the ice that covers the ground. Each step is calculated, every movement precise, as he pushes forward into the snow. His fur-lined coat is weighed down by the deep cold, but his focus is unwavering. He must check his traps. The village depends on what he brings back. The wind howls through the trees, biting at his exposed skin, but there is no time for discomfort. In the Siberian winter, comfort is a luxury that can't be afforded. The hunter reaches his first trap. The snow beneath his boots is thick, the ground uneven, and hidden patches of ice threaten to betray him with every step. His breath condenses in the cold, forming clouds in the air that freeze before they can disappear. The trap is empty. His heart sinks momentarily, but he doesn't stop. There's no time for disappointment. The traps are scattered over miles of land, and he has to check every one of them. The village's survival is at stake, and that thought drives him forward. As he moves through the snow-covered landscape, the stillness of forest around him is almost oppressive. Every tree, every snowflake seems to be watching, waiting. The silence is broken only by the soft crunch of his boots and the occasional gust of wind. This is a land of isolation, where every sound is amplified by the vast emptiness surrounding it. After what feels like an eternity of walking, the hunter pauses. His eyes scan the horizon, and then through the swirling snow, he sees it, a small movement in the distance. A wild hare, grazing in the snow, unaware of the predator stalking it. The hunter's breath catches in his throat. This is the moment he's been waiting for, a meal for the village. The hunter moves swiftly and silently, drawing his bow with practiced ease. He takes aim, and in a single motion, releases the arrow. The air seems to freeze for a moment as the arrow flies, striking its target. The hare falls silently to the ground, its life snuffed out in an instant. The hunter pauses, standing still in the snow. There is no triumph, no cheer. Only the quiet understanding that survival is never easy, but it is always necessary. The kill is a sacrifice, a necessary act to ensure the continuation of life. With the hare secured, the hunter begins a long journey back to the village. The snow continues to fall, blanketing everything in its path. The wind picks up again, biting at his exposed skin. Yet, there is no time for rest. The village is still far off, and every step he takes is one closer to ensuring their survival. The weight of the hunt presses on his shoulders, but he bears it with quiet determination. As the hunter makes his way back, the sky begins to darken, and the winds grow fiercer. A storm is rolling in, sweeping across the tundra with an intensity that threatens to swallow everything in its path. The hunter knows what this means. The storm will be unforgiving, and it will last for days. There is no room for error now. He must return to the village before the storm hits. The snow begins to fall harder, turning the landscape into a blur of white. The cold becomes even more intense, biting through his clothing, numbing his fingers and toes. Each step feels heavier than the last as the storm gathers strength. The hunter's face is hidden beneath layers of fur, but his eyes are sharp, focused. He knows that in this land, time is not a luxury. The storm is coming, and there's no room for hesitation. Back in the village, the storm has already begun to reach the edges of the settlement. The villagers rush to secure their homes, gathering firewood, checking supplies, and making sure everything is ready for the long days ahead. The wind howls as it sweeps through the village, forcing everyone to move quickly. There is no time to waste. The storm is relentless, and once it arrives, it will leave nothing untouched. Amidst the chaos, a father sets out to find his scattered cattle. The storm has separated them, and without the cattle, the family will go hungry. His heart pounds as he steps into the blizzard, barely able to see more than a few feet ahead. The cold stings his face and the wind cuts through his clothing, but he presses on, determined. The cattle are out there somewhere. He must find them. The storm intensifies, the snow blinding him as he stumbles forward, relying only on instinct to guide him. The howling winds make it impossible to hear anything, but he presses on. Every step is a fight against the storm. His breath comes in ragged bursts, the cold freezing his lungs. He calls out, but the wind swallows his voice, leaving him in an eerie silence. Still, he doesn't stop. His family's survival depends on him. Through the storm, he hears it, the faint moo of his cattle. His heart skips a beat. He pushes forward, moving closer to the sound, his body nearly frozen from the cold. The cattle are huddled together, their breath visible in the freezing air. The father moves carefully, guiding them back toward the village, the storm still howling around them. The journey is slow, the wind trying to push them back at every turn, but the father remains steadfast. He knows the importance of this moment. His family's survival hinges on this small victory. As he leads the cattle back, the storm seems to ease, its fury lessening as the warmth of the village looms closer. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, the father returns to the village, the cattle safe. He enters his cabin, his hands trembling from exhaustion as he closes the door behind him. The warmth of the fire welcomes him, but the cold remains in his bones. His family gathers around, their faces filled with relief. There is no celebration, only quiet gratitude. They have survived. For now, outside, the storm rages on, but inside, the warmth of the fire and the company of his family provide a fleeting sense of peace. The hunter returns soon after, his catch in hand. The village will eat tonight, and tomorrow they will begin again. The cold is relentless, but so are they. Each day is a new battle, a new struggle. Yet, through it all, they endure. In Siberia, survival is not just a fight against the elements. It is a way of life. And every day, they fight to live.
All right, Mush, let's go, let's go.
The little shoots are early this year.
Reorganization, but the wind still bites. Winter is not finished with us yet.